unexpectedly happen. So let's switch into the game as we are in, and the first is gonna be home map for NHNs. So looking at it all, it's most probably gonna be Arabia. Yeah, it's gonna be standard Arabia. Nothing really unusual here all that much. Which is kind of expected because, as I said, the CDN difference is there, and that also means that there is gonna be a bit of a difference in the ratings and such. As for example, for NHNs, that's gonna be Sobek, Cloud, and Tukan. They are basically all about 1900 plus. Cloud is a 2K player. Sobek is a 1950, I think, something like that. And Tukan is about 1900 as well. I think maybe slightly less. I'm not entirely right now certain. I was looking at it, but already forgot. So yeah, my short-term memory not exactly the greatest in those things. So yeah, not great. But overall, the level of NHNs is definitely big at this point. But it doesn't mean that actually Gauchos would be some kind of runs of the litter or whatever. They definitely are quite deserving of advancing into the playoffs. And their overall skill is gonna be also about 1800 plus, most definitely. I think that, for example, Mate is about 1850. He's pretty solid player. And for the allies, Pingui is, if I remember correctly, seen about 1770, so let's say 1800 in a proper team, which they definitely are because they are having plenty of experience playing with each other in the past seasons and this season as well, of course. Interesting position of Yellow in Kana right next to the wall. Almost even didn't see him in there, as he's next to all of those patches of the desert, as he's also luring the deer or pushing the deer right next to the TC. And let's just turn off the chat because there are a few people actually watching as spectators, so let's not have any kind of spoilers or whatever like that. Okay, so that's one of the boars right now coming in here. We have already finished that. Basically, yeah, it's gonna be 2K clan NHN versus about 1850 probably for Gauchos be in here, so the favorites are there, but it definitely doesn't mean that Gauchos couldn't be making something happen. I'm especially waiting for their own home map. That is most probably gonna be Team Islands. That is a map that they are playing quite often. Maybe it could be also Black Forest, but my bet is gonna be on Team Islands. That is a map they are kinda known for in the league, and they are really quite skilled on it. And it's of course quite different from Arabia. Water maps are significantly different, so yeah, there is something to keep in mind and potentially could be a point to worry about for NHNs. Definitely could be. Okay, so that's a boar right now getting home together, of course, with the deer as well. It seems like nicely right now positioned and done by Mate. -1 boar for Sobek. Has he actually been stolen or whatnot? Is there one boar inside? It doesn't have anything anywhere, so he probably was stolen, and he is... Exodo is on the left, so it probably was him. That's 2 boars. Third one is where then? Yeah, he did steal a boar. I didn't actually see it, so sorry about that, but we have actually figured it out with a bit of a help in the chat in there. So that's, of course, quite a significant advantage right now to be had for Exodo, especially because he is a Mongol, and Mongols do have the very nice bonus at the start for the hunt. So he's gonna be having very easy time advancing into fast castle. We will be expecting a fast castle. Not probably gonna be that fast castle, but kinda normal-ish about the extra hunt. And since he's gonna be slowing down the opponent who is going to be playing as Mayan, that will probably give the Mongol a bit more time to actually get himself set up, even on the flank position. So this is actually quite nice and important for him, especially since he's gonna be playing against Sobek, who is quite a competent player all around. Okay, his goal seems to be quite nicely positioned. It's not really that much of a problem. It would have been a bit more problematic somewhere about here. Otherwise, though, he is, well, kind of wide open in there. So maybe it's not gonna be that easy for him. Because, of course, from the Mongol, you would be expecting Scout Cavalry fairly soon inside his base. As the first players are already gonna be advancing. Tukan as Mongol and Exodo, of course, as the Mongol as well. So yeah, the Mongols are advancing first. Otherwise, the civilizations are gonna be a mirror. Almost. There's a difference, as of course NHNs are taking Mayans right now, Sobek. Whereas for the opponents, Pingui is actually picking up Persians, which is an interesting choice, definitely viable. But it would have been better if he was actually in the pocket. Right now he's gonna be on the flank, so still, it's gonna be meaning a Han in the pocket, right? Do I see this correctly? Yes, I do. It's gonna be meaning Mate as a Han in the pocket, and that's always quite powerful. But it's gonna be the same. Cloud on the other hand, on the other team. And at this point, it's probably gonna be a bit bigger advantage for actually NHNs, because at this point, Cloud is the strongest player in this game. And having the best position, yeah, well, that's something for Gauchos to worry about quite a bit. At any rate, so far we don't see any kind of early action, so not even a rush coming from anybody. It so far seems so. Yeah, nothing is ready in for Pingui as the Persian. For the other side of the map for Lutukan. Also nothing so far. He's already, of course, coming for the stable. So that seems to be quite fine. So far as everything goes, he's definitely going for quite an interesting walling, quite close to the TC, because he's kind of wide open, and that really seems to be basically the theme of this map. Everybody's open. We have already seen that with Sobek on the right side, and it's probably gonna be true here on the left as well. It definitely is. Probably can use the stone and the gold for a bit of natural walling in there, but apparently not just yet. Gonna be a bit later, and it's almost seeming like that he's gonna be actually wanting to use a bit of the housing in there for his walling first and foremost. Alright, so that's a bit of him coming back so that he can protect himself, as we are also gonna be looking at the top where already, of course. Ooh. this is an interesting choice by a Mongol, to be honest. That's something I did not expect. Because since he has stolen the board from his opponent, he kinda knew that the opponent is gonna be slower because of that, and he can be even faster into the Scout Cavalry, into the Fast Castle and whatnot. But switching into Tower Rush right off the bat, that is highly unusual. If he can drop the tower about here, he could be successful. But still, already the archer range is coming down, and I'm not entirely certain it's gonna be working that well. He is at least slowing down the second one. That is already a bit of an advantage for him. But he has scouted where the gold is, and the tower about here is actually pretty huge, because it could be targeting both the stone and the gold. And I'm not entirely certain what he's actually waiting for all that much. I'm not really certain in here. Very late, a few village from Cloud. That is at 26 villages, basically just confirming Fast Castle, which is usual. But this positioning, this is really weird. He definitely had a much better position about this point. Even though it's closer to the military buildings, at that point, like, who cares? It just doesn't matter all that much. He could have blocked both the stone and the gold, and right now it's gonna be just the gold, so not really ideal, I'm thinking. But still, it could be serving the purpose, but we also must check what's happening on the left side, because of course the Mongol from the opponent's Lutukan is already in the opponent's side of the map, and the base, of course, of Pingui, who was quite wide open, as we have seen a bit before, and that is definitely right now the downside and downfall of his gameplay. He's already producing a few units, at least there, because he has advanced in the field also, of course. Cloud gonna be the first into the castle age, and with the double archer range in there for the Persian, he's gonna be trying to produce at least a few archers, maybe just skirmishers. But yeah, well, he's definitely having big problems with the gold right now, and that could be a significant issue for the game player and the whole Gaucho team, especially if this isn't going to be coming anywhere a bit better. Yeah, and right now this is exactly what I was talking about. If he was building a tower here, he could have blocked even this, because right now the Mayan is coming for all the stone, and he can be producing towers, probably a bit later, or just basically jump into the castle age and get the castle right off the bat. So yeah, he's right now having plenty of options, so this is probably, or rather probably, definitely slightly misplayed by Zoro. But it's almost looking like that he's actually gonna be giving up on the player on that side, and he's gonna be moving into the pocket, trying to somehow slow down Cloud, which is not a bad idea, because as I said at the start, Cloud is the best player in the game, and since he's in the pocket with Hans, he is most definitely the biggest threat to somehow neutralize for the opponents. And yep, right, I'm just saying that he is gonna be, of course, in a bit of trouble, and that gold is gonna be denied for him. Is there gonna be some secondary gold somewhere close by? There's a secondary gold. Not exactly safe. Not exactly safe as you'll be actually hoping for him. And he's already coming in there with the TC, so it's gonna be basically a race for time. But looking how he's having just 2 villages in there, Exodo, and a few scouts, it shouldn't be enough. Looking at the army and the villages in there from yellow, he could probably slow it down at least a bit. But I don't exactly think he's gonna be stopping this. Yeah, with the army already coming out with the knights, this should be fairly easy for yellow to defend. Not really that much of a problem in there for him in the end. So interesting idea, 2 villages dead, but I kinda think that yellow will be able to overcome that. He should be really. Once this TC is up, he's gonna be fairly safe, as we are gonna be checking at the top where nothing all that much is happening. Just basically red mate trying to somehow follow up with a few scouts here and there, but he should be really hurrying up into the castle age, because even though He is having quite nice echo at 32. Well, Cloud is gonna be getting ahead with the 2 TCs and the economical boom, so that's not really good news for the whole Gaucho team. At the top, we also see that Sobek is not really all that worried about the tower inside his base. He doesn't really care all that much. Was trying to slow down the market and maybe even the economy in there, but it's not gonna be working, as of course the palisades are up and it will be quite hard to actually get there, and if there actually is any kind of way in. Oh well, there actually isn't. Okay, so that's very nice and thorough walling. That has went up by Exoro, which means that basically blue is probably... Yeah, exactly, right now the yellow flares into the pocket. This is where he's gonna be switching into the pocket player, who is not exactly ready for this. You can right now see that no walling is basically coming up from mate, which is quite dangerous at this point. And as a pocket, he should have prepared a bit better. But yeah, well, he probably didn't expect that he's gonna be having to face the army this soon, especially since it's gonna be a double. The gold is gonna be protected, those 3 spearmen are gonna be quite fine, as his castle age is kinda in a third. Get in there, get in there. But yeah, well, those are definitely hungry and looking what they can be killing. But with all those spearmen being absolutely everywhere, it doesn't seem to be that much of an issue to be had. In the meantime, it seems like the teal is actually making rounds across the opponents. Just now, right now, going to be on the left, also trying to annoy Lutukan, at least a bit. Which could be working, because you can see that right now green is also going to be joining into the fun. He has killed already a few units. Nothing all that major, especially considering that Tukan is having his army helping the blue player who has already found his way into the enemy base. And with the archers, yeah, the spearmen are not gonna be good enough. So this is gonna be quite a decent idle time right about now. Nicely played by NHNs. And with even a few archers here, he could be even stopping the gold gathering, but at this point, since he's already in the castle age, it's not gonna be that prevalent, as the scouts are coming up and they're gonna be switching into knights fairly soon. So the TC here finished, the tower has been already killed, which means that the gold has been secured, and looking how he was at least trying to somehow deny and lame the gold there a bit. Well, he didn't succeed even in that, which of course is resulting into the fact that Exoro and Pingui are trying to somehow slow down Tukan and maybe kill a few villages here and there. They probably succeeded in there. You can see a few skeletons, at least 2 of those. But otherwise it doesn't seem that he should be he should be having all that much of a success. As the tower is definitely stopped at this point, and the villagers, yeah, well, are they like dead? Quite probably. Yeah, it seems like they are actually dead, and this is gonna be the only attempt and only chance for actually Gauchos to make, or rather do some kind of damage to the enemy economy. They, of course, at the same time are suffering quite significant damage themselves, yeah, especially right now Red player, who has been denied quite a significant amount of archers, or rather, by the significant amount of archers, quite a bit of food gathering. But with all of those knights already being up, he has slaughtered a few units here and there. These definitely were enemy soldiers in here. So it seems like that he is quite safe at this point, and he's gonna be just waiting what yellow can be doing with his faster castle age and with his better boom. Because look at the economy. He's already at 53 villages, whereas the best opponent is at 39 the pocket. That's 14 at this point. That's a third of all the villages that they're having, and that is a significant advantage. Quite definitely. So at this point, this is really looking like that Gauchos unfortunately weren't able to do enough damage in the early game, and we're gonna be switching into the mid game, where of course the better boomer is gonna be gaining advantage and gaining significant traction for the rest of the game. Well, so few archers still very much alive, as castle age is coming up for Pingui. And some interesting upgrades as well, or not really. No castle age for Exodo, so everybody's probably gonna be in castle age, yes. Yeah, just basically right now Lutukan is bit waiting, he's gonna be the last one to advance. But with this little battle in there that we are looking at, Mate is sending quite plenty of knights into the attack, and it's quite a bit more than actually what Cloud is so far supplying, which is interesting. But it can be basically accounted to the fact that he is investing a whole lot more into the booming. You can see already 62, 45 for the opponent, so the difference is still kind of the same. But he could be investing a bit more into the army, because it's most definitely gonna be needed quite a bit. Yeah, it will be. Okay, so there's decent army already growing for the yellow player. For the yellow player, with a few extra stables being built in there, as the tower is still very much present, trying to deny the gold. But it doesn't seem like that Sobek would be really faced all that much. You can see he's having secondary gold quite safe, and maybe there's gonna be even some kind of tertiary. Don't see it yet. Don't see it on the minimap either, so it seems like that it's gonna be relying on that. But since already the castle is coming up, that's gonna be the total destruction of the watchtower, and of course, freeing of the much important and crucial gold mine for himself and for his game to be coming forward. Alright, right now at the bottom, this is like the most important battlefield so far, because it seems that actually NHNs are kind of forced into full-on defensive, which is a bit of a surprise, to be honest. So I would be expecting they will be following up quite a bit more with the attacks, but so far they are not, and that is resulting in a pretty good attack by Pinguis crossbowman with a very nice hill. This is a very nice hill to deny the gold mine in there, and even the stone mine. That's definitely nice, and with the knights protecting them, it seems that this is gonna be a bit more difficult than what actually Cloud and Lutukan sign up for. They were kinda hoping that it's gonna be a bit easier. Apparently not all that much, but the game, or rather the base is quite nice. Quite nicely defended by Letukan, but at the same time, he would like to play some extra TCs, like maybe next to the stone, next to the secondary gold, maybe like that, because right now so far, he's of course gonna be falling behind, and quite significantly so. Quite significantly so indeed. This was actually nicely played by NHN, by Letukan, because he probably didn't want to keep, or rather give some kind of chance to crossbowman for a bit of a choke point, and that is the reason why he deleted all those palisades. The battle definitely not as great as maybe NHN's hope for. I'm not entirely certain why actually Red was running, because that was a mistake. That was a significant mistake, because he definitely could have won the battle with all of those knights targeting all those crossbowmen. So the crossbowman died for absolutely nothing in there. And yeah, right now Mate needs to retreat, and if he takes a battle now, like, come on, please don't. Well, that was a not good team communication, like at all. Like at all. That was a crucial mistake, because it was a fairly equalish battle, and it turned into basically two versus ones. You can kind of guess how that should have went, and it went exactly according to that. That's a shame. That's a big shame for Gauchos, because they did have a chance. They were slowing down Tukan quite significantly. He's still at the 1 TC at 30 minutes game time. That is a problem for him. You can see right now he's already having military buildings right on his doorstep. He's at 37 villages, which is by far the least of all the players in here, but his teammates are a whole lot better. You can see Cloud already at 95, 76 for Sobek, whereas the opponents are 49, 50 and 73, so the economies are just running away. They are significantly right now running away for NHNs, and it seems that actually the only opening for Gauchos that could be viable would be destroying Tukan. If they can be destroying Tukan and basically changing the game into like 3 versus 2, it could be working. It really could be working. So definitely curious how that's gonna be panning out, because it seems really that this is Gaucho's like only claim on the victory at this point, because the economies are just gonna be getting better as we are in kinda getting past the mid game in here, and that's the time when the economies are kicking in. And you can already see that blue having the economy going, and being the Mayan, plumed archers are already coming up with pretty decent numbers, and much more importantly, Imperial Age for Cloud is coming in. So that's gonna be a lot of upgrades and of man-at-arms. Wow, what's going on here? Like, are we gonna be seeing like two-handed swordsmen and champions or something? I'm slightly confused. Maybe he actually wants to deposit them into rams to make them faster, and then basically deploy them right next to the TC. I'm not entirely certain, but it's not like he needs that. And that upgrade into man-at-arms really confuses me so far. Let's see what comes out of it. That definitely will be some kind of idea, because it will be a weird misclick overall. Well, this is definitely very good attack, as it's gonna be slowing down the economy of Tukan even more. And even though he's at 45 villages, he's gonna be having plenty of them idle. And he needs to be supremely careful, because there's gonna be opportunity for all the crossbowmen to actually kill a few here. Yeah, purple should run. He shouldn't attempt this. He really shouldn't. He's having the second TC already up. At least that. But he needs all the assistance that he can receive from Cloud. But with him already advancing into Imperial Age, that should be quite an easier battle right now for him. As of course, once he gets the Cavaliers that are already coming up, and with Sobek coming into Imperial Age as well, the game should be kinda moving into one direction. But let's not recall it yet, because Tukan is in a really bad position. Oh, careful with the villages. And I also need to switch to the top. There! Even though we have been looking at Sobek actually advancing quite significantly forward. Oh, that was a good shot by the Mangonel in there. A bit more careful Exodus should be. But he was able to somehow build a castle into the enemy face. You can see even through the castles being built all around by Sobek. This is an interesting build right there. But he's of course gonna be significantly slowing down the economy. That's about, I don't know, 10 farms being unusable at this point. That's quite significant. And since he's getting plenty of stone right next to your opponent, he's most probably gonna be trying to drop a castle right here, another one, and trying to slow down Sobek even more, who is having a bit of a guard there, protecting the trade route and even the economies and such. But we also must look back onto the battlefield in the purple's base, and this is definitely nicely played by Gaucho. Gauchos are going for it as we are having a bit of a pause and not being afraid of being in the underdog position at all. So nicely played. And let's see if it's gonna be yielding some kind of results. It's definitely gonna be interesting because, curiously enough, Cloud has somehow stopped actually going for the economy that strong. You can see 108 villages, whereas Mate is still going for it quite fully, and he has basically caught up with him at 103. He was behind about 15 to 20 villages, and right now they are more or less equal, just 5 villages difference. And that could be an interesting and significant point in the game, because even though he's not in the Imperial Age yet, which he should be right now thinking about quite significantly right now, as it's gonna be needed, it is an opportunity to spam the knights quite a bit more. But of course, against the Cavaliers, yeah, the Imperial Age is gonna be needed. But he's just now clicking in. Still, he's gonna be about 3 minutes before he is advanced. And then we are right now gonna be probably unpausing. Imperial Age from Sobek is gonna be a whole lot more important, because I don't think that Exodo would be all that nearby. Yeah, he's absolutely not anywhere near Imperial Age. And once that Imperial Age hits, even those very brave attempts into another castle, that is probably gonna be finished with all the army. Oh, come on, that's gonna be some nice shot. Yes, that was a nice one. That was a nice one into those plumed archers. So this castle is gonna get finished. But as I said, the technological advantage once the Imperial Age hits and the trebuchets, to get rid of all of those castles, that's probably gonna be a bit too much. But let's see. Maybe there's gonna be something to do about that. It was also a nice shot into the villages, but didn't kill any. They all survived. A bit luckily for Exodo, because it could be slowing him down quite significantly so. And of course, the castle finished. Another blow to the economy of Sobek. But yes, Sobek definitely does have the echo quite a little bit stronger than Exodo by about 30 villages, which means that even such an outage shouldn't be that much of a problem for him. Okay, at the bottom, Tucan seems to be stabilizing with the help of Cloud. As Green right about now is basically forced into some kind of falling back. Yeah, he's basically fully falling back because of course right now the tables have turned. And Cloud is gonna be raiding him. Even though he's nicely walled up, he cannot really wall himself fully. And well, few idols here and there. But it's not like it matters a whole lot, as this is gonna be right now defended with the help of teammate Mate. But at the same time, Paladins are coming up, and have they maybe switched into Sling? I was kind of thinking that maybe NHNs might be switching into Sling, because Tucan is really in a pretty hard position at 51 villages now. He was having problems with the economy, and maybe it could be a better idea to actually Sling into Cloud. But at this point, Cloud probably doesn't need it all that much, and in that case, we are gonna be looking at a very interesting battle very soon. And it's probably not gonna be all that good for Gaucho, I'm thinking at this point. Okay. Plenty of knights. But just knights. They're just waiting to be cavaliers. And this is very good fight at this point for actually Red. I was thinking for a moment that it might not be all that great fight for him. Might be slightly better for Yellow, especially with the Paladins coming up. But the numbers, they definitely were there. And that means that this is gonna be not a bad fight to at least stop the raiding. But you can see that Cloud is dividing the armies into basically little patches, letting those two paladins basically kill as many villages as they potentially can, and they are quite succeeding at that raiding. You can see already 4 villages dead, maybe a few more in there. That seemed like the 5th one in here, and even though they of course are gonna be dying for all of that, it's definitely well worthwhile, because even more paladins are gonna be coming up. Those pikemen are kinda tricky. But not really tricky enough, I'm thinking. Steel is not really present in that. This is just basically from the early game. And we are gonna be looking at him, what he is doing in the Blues base. He has already lost the castle, which was expected because of the Imperial Age and the trebuchets. So that is not much of a surprise, and kinda going as you're expecting in here, as you'll be waiting for some kind of interesting shot. Come on, that could definitely be happening. Or maybe it's just gonna be another double shot right now by Blue. Oh, come on. Oh, well. That could have been a double shot. You kind of missed that. But, yep. You can see a whole lot better micro right about now by Sobek. And he could be repairing it, which he exactly is. They're gonna be picking up quite a bit of hit points in there. Not really wasting any resources at all. And even though the army from Exoro is not half bad, he has basically lost the food hall in there, even though he's still stealing at least as much stone as he potentially can, and possibly can. He is gonna be right now switching into the pocket, trying to raid the economy, which is gonna be successful, because there's no defense for Yellow. But Yellow is trying to do basically the same, sending so many paladins behind the enemy lines, and they are still very much alive, trying to kill the gold, and yep, they seem to be quite succeeding at that. They definitely seem to be. And once this actually gets through, which is right now exactly through in there, he has killed plenty of those pikemen that are waiting in here a bit before. It's gonna be up to right now, of course, Red, to somehow deal with him, but he's gonna be getting the paladins fairly soon as well. This is gonna be an interesting battle. The numbers seem to be slightly more, slightly better for Yellow, I'm thinking. Yeah, this is looking quite promising right now for Yellow if there was some kind of engagement to be had. But apparently they're both evading each other. So let's have a very quick look how's it looking with the Pangu dice in the enemy base on the right side. And, well, not too well. Not too well, because apparently Sobek is gonna be taking care of that quite significantly so, as we are right now heading into the engagement on the left side. And with... okay. With plenty of the supporting army right now by Pingui, this is suddenly turning into a very bad fight for Cloud, and he needs to run for his life. And even though he has lost about, I don't know, a third of the units in here, still he's gonna be escaping with quite plenty and forcing the enemy paladins to go behind him. So that is already a bit of a success for him. But it seems like the GG is actually gonna be called, as even though they are not really under any kind of significant attack gauchos in there, they are just probably recognizing that their opportunity is gone. Sobek is gonna be without any kind of damage, and Exoro won't be able to basically kill him anymore, as even though he does have some kind of army, Cloud is absolutely everywhere with the paladins. Absolutely everywhere. And overall, NHNs are stabilizing quite well, even gonna be right now building the castle in the forward base. So yep, nicely played. And the economies, they definitely did prevail for NHNs in the end. So very brave attempt by Gauchos. Very nicely done in the early game. It really seemed like that NHNs will have quite a lot to worry about, but NHNs prevailed and they're gonna be leading in the best of 3 round of 16 1-0. And I'm definitely curious at this point about the home map of Gauchos, because that might be a game that NHNs won't be that much of a favorites in. Let's check in the achievements. Cloud, well, of course, he was the most influential player in the game, and his boom kinda did win the game, because he was able to save Tukan, who was in a very horrible situation in there. He kinda was losing against Pingui with mate. It has to be said, it was basically 2 versus 1. But yeah, well, in the end, NHN skill and experience prevailed. Can see a bit of a sling into Tukan to help him in the end as well. That's how strong the economy of Cloud was. Well done. Well done indeed. GG.